Hello everyone, KRX50 here, and welcome back to Toku Toy Theory, where I take a look at toys from various Tokusatsu series, and try to figure out why they look and act the way they do, both in and out of series. Before I get started, I want to apologize for my unplanned hiatus, which was basically my own fault, as I had fallen into some bad habits that had made me basically just lazy and procrastinating, and basically just making up excuses in my head to not do videos. And so from here on I'm going to try to be more diligent, try to improve upon myself, and try to get some better habits so that you guys can get content more often. So without further ado, this time it'll be our fourth part in the look at Kamen Rider Fourze. And while last time and in the beginning I said that we'd be doing this in segments of 10 switches, in this case and in the next part, and we'll basically have to make a couple of exceptions just because of some little oddities in the numbering and the way these switches were set up. So this time, instead of taking a look at the next 10 switches, we'll be taking a look at the next 11 switches, 21 to 31, with 30 and 31 being the NS MagPhone, as well as his third state change and first power-up form, Manget State. So let's get started. Number 21 is the stealth switch. This is a cross switch that's violet in color, and it seems to be based on a radar display. To activate it, as indicated by the two arrows, you would twist the center bar to the right, which covers up the two white parts and makes them invisible. Then you plug it in, and switch on. This equips Fourze with the stealth module, attaching a miniature stealth bomber to his right leg. And for this one, the cross shape is a little bit hard to see, but it's basically the top fin here, and then these two panels down here, which when intersected form a cross. So when activated, this cloaks Fourze's entire suit and makes him appear invisible. Now while this is obviously useful for hiding from enemies or evading them, with this next set of switches, we kind of start to go into the realm of the hypothetical, with basically things related to exploring other planets. So for this one, its hypothetical application could be for basically hiding from, or basically just camouflaging yourself so as to potentially study foreign life forms and not startle them, or rather the alien life forms of other planets. Number 22 is the hammer switch. This is a square switch that is light orange in color and is based on a gavel. And so to activate it, take the gavel head and then push it down. And lift it back up to deactivate. Switch on. This equips Fourze with the hammer module, attaching a double-ended hammer to his left arm. Now for this one, while the round shape would make it seem more like a circle switch, it does have a small rectangle right here on the top. Now while this one is definitely one that would be normally seen as a weapon, this could also be used for breaking rocks, hammering down stakes, or other things that would need to be hammered in while on other planets, as it is still a hammer. Number 23 is the water switch. This is a triangle switch that's aqua blue in color and is based on a faucet handle. So for this one, similar to the drill switch, to activate it, you rotate it clockwise, and then twist it back to deactivate. Switch on. This equips Fourze with the water module. Attaching a water spout to his left leg, it even has a tank attached to the side. Now for this one, it might seem a little bit redundant when you already have the fire switch, which can be used to put out fires, but as I explained in the last segment, that uses fire dousing foam instead of water, so in this case, the water module could be used in case of a water shortage, either for drinking water or cleaning water. And so it very much comes in handy for planetary exploration. And for this one, the triangle is basically the general shape of the handle. Number 24 is the medical switch. This is a square switch that's pale yellow in color and is based on a syringe. So to activate this one, you press down the plunger, and to deactivate, you pull it back up. Switch on. This equips Fourze with the medical module. Attaching was essentially an all-in-one first aid kit to his left arm. This is without doubt one of the most useful utility modules. As can be seen here, it has a wide variety of needles and other devices, as well as an electrocardiograph on the top. So this can be used for monitoring the vitals of fellow astronauts, as well as curing illnesses, treating poisons or wounds, and is very much a lifesaver. And for this one, the whole thing has a box shape, so that is basically the square or four-sided shape here. In this case, since it's stretched out, it would be a rectangle. Number 25 is the pen switch. This is a cross switch that's gray in color and is based on a sliding lever, but the actual slider itself is based on the tip to an old ink pen. So for this one, to activate it, you slide from the top left corner of the cross, or top right, down to the bottom left, and then slide back to deactivate. Although in this case, it's less of a slide and more of a kind of tilt. As you can see, it doesn't really stay in the same upright position. Switch on. This equips Fourze with the pen module, which is both one of the most difficult for him to actually stand on his own with, and also probably the most misnamed. As can be seen, it's not a pen, but rather a calligraphy brush. And the cross shape here is on the attachment port for the module. So for this one, this is one of the more odd ones, as with this, it can draw basically shapes in the air that turn into solid carbon objects. And this could be used for basically creating different tools or creating pieces to repair broken objects or perhaps a break in the ship's hull. It's a very odd module that would probably be rather rarely used and is difficult to find really much of a true application for. Number 26 is the wheel switch. This is a triangle switch that's pale blue in color and is based on a gas pedal, which is more apparent if you look at it from the side or the back than from the front. So to activate it, you push down on the gas pedal and then lift it back up to deactivate. Switch on! This equips Fourze with the wheel module, attaching a set of two motorized wheels, similar to a Segway, to his left leg, with the triangle being the attachment port. And this can basically be seen as the successor to the hopping module, as this will allow for much faster travel across a planet's surface, especially one with low gravity, or even with normal gravity. This generally does allow for faster ground travel than would be possible with something like the hopping module. So it would be very useful for exploration. Number 27 is the screw switch. This is a triangle switch that's red, orange in color, and is based on the corkscrew propeller, hence the name. So, for this one, similar to the drill switch and the water switch, to activate, you rotate clockwise, and rotate back to deactivate. Switch on! This equips Fourze with the screw module, attaching what's basically a shrunken down submarine to his left leg, and that's a good indicator of its potential practical use. Though in this case it's a lot more hypothetical, as it could only really be used for underwater exploration on other planets with large bodies of water similar to Earth. And for this one, the triangle is on the attachment port. Number 28 is the hand switch. This is a cross switch that's pale purple in color, and seems to be based on the kind of button or symbol mechanism you'd find in a children's pop-up book. As to activate, you press down this button here, which causes a hand to pop up, and to deactivate, you press the hand back down. Switch on! This equips Fourze with the hand module, attaching a 3-segmented arm and hand to the right leg. And for this one, once again, the cross shape is on the attachment port. Now, while this one might seem redundant when there's already the magic hand module, this one does have its own uses, as with the hand being one with actual digits. This could be used for multitasking and basically completing tasks that require a lot of dexterity a lot quicker. And it can also be used to grab objects that would be too delicate for the magic hand module, or too dangerous for the user's own hand. And it does have a lot of flexibility to it, which could also help its usefulness. Number 29 is the scop switch. This is a circle switch that has a greenish-gray color and is based on a spade, as scop is Dutch for spade. And so to activate it, you take the spade and flip it forward, then push back to deactivate. Switch on! This equips Fourze with the scop module, giving him a shovel-like scoop on his right arm. Now for this one, the circle shape is a little bit hidden, but it's rather the kind of ring-like arm attachment port itself. So it's not one that can really be seen from any angle, but it is still there. And this one obviously has quite a bit of use for exploration, as this could be used to collect soil samples or dig for minerals. And finally, we have number 30, the N magnet switch, and number 31, the S magnet switch. So, with these being the next state change switches, they're of course clear in color, with N magnet being clear red, and S magnet being clear blue, with of course red and blue being the typical colors used to paint magnets for the north polarity and south polarity. And with these, they actually just have a couple of generic switches, as their more important use is with the two levers. But first, we have to activate them. And so, because I don't have them quite synced up, I'll just do them one at a time. And then I'll do the closest attempt I can get at syncing them up. This transforms Fourze into Manget State. Now originally, when the switches were first created in show, it was just the two base switches and not the attached levers, which just attached the two magnet modules to the left and right arms, or the right and left arms, respectively, and caused Fourze's body to become extremely magnetized, which caused surrounding objects to be attracted to him and weigh him down. So, the power was diverted to the two magnet cannons up on the shoulder. And so, the use of Manget State is actually less the magnetic power itself, but more of resistance to electromagnetic fields and resistance to magnetism, which is very important, as it does kind of basically open up the realm of possibility for exploration with the suit, as one of the key elements of the state changes up to this point has been protection from whatever element it kind of represents. With elect state, it was electricity proof. With fire state, it was fire resistant, and so with magnet state, it's magnetism resistant. But it can also be used for, well, basically the purpose of using the magnet cans for blasting. And then they can also detach and combine together to form the true magnet module, which is the NS magnet cannon, which takes the form of a giant magnet. And so it can be used either handheld or remotely to send out strong magnetic blasts. While the magnet cannons don't have much practical use, the suit itself certainly does. Of course, we can also explore basically the uses of these switches themselves while in the belt and out of the belt, as either the levers or the NS MagPhone. While in the belt, the N magnet switch and S magnet switch are essentially used to control the suit, and each one has different functions. For the N magnet switch, lowering the lever activates the boosters on the suit, and pressing the button will fire out magnetizing blasts. And for the S magnet switch, lowering the lever will adjust the magnet cans, and pressing the trigger fires out electromagnetic pulses. Then for limit break, the activation lever, or the transformation lever, actually detaches the two magnet cans and transforms them into the NS mag cannon. And then for the limit break proper, you lift up the cover here, press the button, and pull the trigger. Meanwhile, out of the belt, when combined, they take the form of the NS MagPhone, essentially a flip-up cell phone, which can be used as a portable communication device that is a lot more convenient than the radar module. And it does make sense that two switches for magnetism would be used for a cell phone or communications device, as electromagnetic waves are basically part of that, or rather radio waves that are used to send signals from devices like cell phones are part of the electromagnetic spectrum. So this kind of application does make some sense. You can see that even as the NS MagPhone, it does have an N and S to indicate which one is which. Though, even without them, the colors would be kind of a giveaway. And there we go. Once again, we can see another pattern within these switches, this time for exploration of other planets or the deep reaches of space. And so it makes sense for these to be in the latter half of the switches. And while some of them have more hypothetical uses, and some are not as likely to get used as others, they all do have justification for being created, and Manget State especially is somewhat useful more for its protective purposes than any offensive purposes it has, though it is still useful in battle. And so, stay tuned for the last part, where we'll take a look at not only the last 9 switches in the numbered order, but also a couple of bonuses. Or at least one bonus. But for next time, I'm going to start branching out and take a look at the LBX Achilles from Donbal Senki, which will be my first foray into model kits. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, or share it. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/krx50. And for now, this is KRX50, blasting off.